Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of FSF Reviews Stargate. Now, this week we're on SG1, and Nick is mocking me, and I swear if I could, I'd reach through the screen. Anyway, we're on Stargate SG1, Episode 2, The Enemy Within. So, Nick is clearly enjoying this way more than any of us, which is good. We're glad to have him being happy. But, this episode...
You won't like me when I'm angry.
Clearly.
I don't recommend choking on a Sour Patch Kid.
I thought you were laughing at me.
No.
I was, and then I started choking, and because it was like partially chewed, it was sticky and it got stuck.
Well, see, she had just started eating the Sour Patch when you started mocking me. Then she started laughing. Then came the inhalation of said Sour Patch.
But it stuck to the back of my throat.
Yeah, that's no bueno. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's supposed to go down the chute, not get stuck on the back of the chute. So.
Darn little green Sour Patch Kids.
Nah, they'll get you every time. All right, so hey, what do you say we talk about some Stargate?
Yeah.
So I actually really enjoyed this episode. Now, not that I didn't enjoy the first one, but like I said during the last episode, the Children of the Gods, the parts 1 and 2, it was me getting used to seeing different people in as these different characters, and not that I'm still working my way towards it, but the disconnect through this episode of it having to be James Spader or it having to be Kurt Russell was starting to happen a little bit more. And there's a couple different points through here where Richard Dean Anderson as O'Neill really starts growing on me.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him less as MacGyver, as more and more as an actual character, which has always been hard for me because anything I've seen Richard Dean Anderson in ever in my life, it's always been, oh, hey, look, it's that MacGyver dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nick, you look like you're just waiting to say something.
Like, you see sides of Richard Dean Anderson I don't think you've ever seen before. Here I am, sitting on like episode 12 because I can't not watch.
Because you have no
less. I have control. It's just I've controlled to watch more.
It's just not self-control. He needs somebody else to control him. He can control other things for other people, but yeah, I have. Especially in this episode, I started to see different parts of Richard Dean Anderson and different ways that he is really kind of taking on the character of O'Neill. And there's a couple different times where I was like, I like that. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll talk about that as we kind of get into it.
I will say he has a lot of like sometimes dry one-liners that are meant as a joke, and the writers know that it's a joke. But everyone else is just like deadpan. And I'm like, I
love that.
Yeah. All right. So we start off with inbound travelers. All of a sudden, they're just kind of standing there by the wheel, the Stargate, the Wheel of Doom. I know it's a Stargate. I like to call it the Wheel of Doom. You call it what you want.
But after they were arguing over who would go to P3575 or P3A577.
Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard at the classifications of the planets after we just made them up.
Right, because having that little bit of information from Gary Jones, again, episode, I believe it's 86 of our interviews with Gary Jones, the Chevron guy. And him explaining that, they're just kind of randomly throwing some of these names out there. It's like, because we go there, he had to learn them. But yeah, so they're sitting there arguing about, who's going where and how, and all of a sudden the alert goes up, the wheel starts activating, and the chevrons start locking into place, and they just get the iris closed in time, which I didn't really understand the whole point of the iris until this episode. And I had to laugh because I started laughing when I realized what the iris was for.
They're like bugs on a windshield.
Yes.
That was the sentence that got me, because I'm like, what's the point of this? They've got all these technologically advanced weapons. I forget that, basically you come hurtling through the gate at the end and they're always tumbling through. So you're getting thrown at, Mach speed up against the iris, and that's pure titanium. And
yeah.
So yeah, bugs on the windshield. I did think it was funny though that Carter was trying to explain the validity of the iris to both Daniel Jackson, and O'Neill was standing there listening, and she's going through all these technical explanations of what it can do and how strong the titanium is and what it would take to get through it. And he's like, yeah, but will it hold?
Right. And if it doesn't, we'll just blow up the mountain. It's like, oh, I feel so much better.